I do have a special guest about to come out. He is an old friend of mine. We used to kind of wrestle around a little bit back when I still had my smile. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome New Jack. How you been?
Good, pretty good. How about you?
Well, I've got this show. So, to those of you that don't know you, how would you introduce yourself to the world?
As the baddest nigga ever got in a wrestling ring.
Language. Now, you were a hardcore wrestler, hardcore legend for wrestling fans. You've been all around the world. You've wrestled some of the biggest names, some of the toughest people. So, you know, boy, I miss the ring. So tell me, like, before you became a wrestler, did you have aspirations of being a wrestler?
No.
No. You didn't turn on TV and see Barry Windham or Marty Jannetty and say, "I want to be him."
Man, I never looked up to them motherfuckers, man.
No.
Come on.
Rock and roll Ricky Morton.
Come on.
Wildfire Time of Rich.
Dude, I was selling drugs at the time.
Fair enough. So
I needed a legal way out, so I had to do some legal shit.
Okay. So what drove you to wrestling? I mean, there's so many different career paths.
Well, I mean, it was an opportunity that came to me. You know, a friend of mine was doing it, and he asked me and I wanted to do it, you know.
Uh-huh.
And at first I was against it.
Why?
Because it just wasn't me, you know what I mean? I just felt like I could do it if I wanted to do it, you know? And then when I started talking to the guy about doing it, and I got into it, and I started training to do it, and I figured it was something I could really do.
Now, where did you grow up?
Atlanta.
Atlanta. So you started out, I believe, was it Memphis wrestling in Tennessee?
Yeah.
USWA?
Yeah.
Lots of great stuff. It's probably the best wrestling you'll ever see.
How'd you get that scar on your head?
You know, Harley Tucker.
He fucked you up, didn't he?
I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into that. So then...
No, answer my fucking question. How'd you get that scar on your head?
A few weeks ago on the special, Harley Tucker chainsawed me.
He fucked you up.
He kind of broke me, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I'm not gonna lie.
He did. He did. He took your manhood right on TV. See, if you can ask me questions, I'm gonna ask you questions back, motherfucker.
All right. Look. He took my manhood. He took my pride. I was a man of pride, Kentucky Fried and rock and roll personified, you know, and now I'm just a man.
A well-whooped ass man.
Well, let's go back to your career.
Fuck that, you got your ass whooped on TV, but go ahead.
You made your way to ECW. Now, at the time, in the mid-'90s, that was where the hardcore wrestling was at in the United States.
Right.
Were you a hardcore wrestler before that?
No.
So, what was your feeling going in there? These are people really doing damage to each other with weapons and thumbtacks, tables, fire.
Understand something.
Uh-huh.
I snorted cocaine back then. You know how you see guys, they getting ready for their matches. They doing push-ups and jumping jacks and sit-ups and all this shit.
Yeah, I did 20 jumping jacks.
Right. You see, you did.
Uh-huh.
I was snorting coke. And I ain't talking about a little bit of coke. I'm talking about a lot of fucking cocaine.
All right.
With that, we would have hardcore matches that weren't supposed to be hardcore matches.
Okay.
If you snorted as much shit as I did, bro, you would fight a fucking midget. It didn't matter.
I mean, there are some tough ones out there. Little Pete, Farmer Boy. Like, I don't want to get into those, but all right. So you would just be rolling on your cocaine head.
Yeah.
And I think your trademark was the staple gun. What other? What
Staple gun, saw, axe, cocaine.
Would you use that as a weapon? Like, stuff gets in your eyes, you're blind.
I'm gonna tell you something. I snorted coke one time before one of my matches, as my ring intro music was playing to go to the ring. I was behind the curtain snorting coke. Anybody that knows anything about snorting coke, which I know I'm not the only motherfucker in here that's done it. When that shit hit you, it's a whole new planet. And I would get in the ring, and I'm high. I mean, I'm high as a motherfucker. Right? Now, the fans done brought all these weapons for us to use. I mean, they bring... I once had a dude one time, I swear to God, this kid one time, he brought a prosthetic leg to the show.
And you used it as a weapon?
Yeah, and I used it.
Did you ever ask yourself how he got home?
I didn't give a fuck. I mean, it was his leg, not mine.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? But he brought it, and we used it, and we beat the guy up with it. And it was people complaining about it. It was like, oh, that was wrong. Y'all shouldn't have done that. I was like, go fuck yourself.
So, if you type in New Jack into a YouTube or a Google, a lot of things will come up. A lot of crazy stories. What's the craziest New Jack story that we haven't heard?
If you type in New Jack, if you just type in New Jack pro wrestler, you will come up with shit that I've done to people. Like I had a match down in Florida one time. And this guy, he got in the ring with me. And he didn't really know what was going on, but, you know, he thought he did. And he was like, New Jack, you know, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, da-da-da, whatever. I'm like, all right, man, well, you know, whatever. I had been snorting coke that night. Again.
Pre-match ritual.
Yeah. And we got in the ring, and he started beating on me like I owed him fucking money.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But what I did, I had a blade in my pocket. About an 8-inch blade. It's on YouTube. Just type in New Jack stabbing.
Ask your parents' permission first.
I swear to God, all you gotta do is type in New Jack stabbing, and you're gonna come up with about 4 different stabbings.
4 different angles of stabbing?
This motherfucker, I stabbed him. On the news, they said 16 times. But I saw the tape, it was 9.
Fact check.
All right? And I stabbed him. And he was screaming. And the more he screamed, the more I stabbed him. And he tried to run, and I stabbed him. and I cut him in the back of the head. I cut him in the ass. I cut him in the back. I cut him in the ribs. I stabbed this motherfucker till I got tired.
But to be clear, he was going off on you. He started it.
He started it.
Okay.
He just didn't know the ending to this motherfucking shit.
So you're kind of like a vigilante.
You can call it what you want, but I'm like this. You get in the ring with me, you always take a chance on getting fucked up.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, you had a past as a bounty hunter?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. Like Boba Fett?
What the fuck is Boba Fett?
The only bounty hunter I'm familiar with.
Anyway.
He's a jetpack Han Solo.
I bounty hunted I'm still certified. But I bounty hunted. And the first time we went out, I didn't have no gun, no handcuffs, nothing. And it was just the dude that I was with, he was like, get this guy, I'll pay you $100. We sitting in the car. And the guy gets off the bus. And my buddy's like, there he goes. So I jumped out the car. And this nigga's walking down the street. And I ran and just tackled him. And he was screaming, like, don't rob him. And I was like, I'm not trying to rob you. You're going to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And from that point on, I got hooked.
You're like Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was hooked. And I was just like, this is my job. And I did that until I started wrestling.
Okay. Do you still wrestle?
No.
No? Well,
I do appearances.
Do appearances. Now, what do you kind of fill your time with creatively? I saw that you were doing hip hop for a little bit.
Yeah.
Still interested in that? Still doing it?
A little bit.
Okay. Then also heard you're doing comedy.
A little bit.
Yeah. Did you meet Mr. Jokes?
Yeah, I met him.
All right.
With the badass son.
Yeah.
Mr. Bass.
So are you seeking bookings?
Of course.
Yeah?
I'm all about making money, man. You know what I mean?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
So where can people hit you up if they want you to be on their comedy show?
You hit me on Twitter at NewJackUncut187. That's NewJackUncut187.
That's a heck of a email. Mine's Bobby.Blayze.official@gmail.com.
They doing it again.
Well, thanks so much for coming, New Jack. I hope you stick around. Do you have any words of advice for these troubled teens? Seem to have some experience.
You need to beat the fuck out of him.
Peaceful man.
I got Pete's. Fuck that. You need to whoop his ass and cut that shit out.
How about for the love triangle over there?
Beat her ass and then tell that nigga right there to go home.
Ladies and gentlemen, New Jack. Thanks so much. All right.